XRP Whales just scooped up 3% of the total XRP supply off the market in the past few months. And this is all leading up to the XRP DeFi explosion. I think that they're seeing the same thing that we've been looking at here, which is all of these amendments, all of these new features, and the explosion in XRP DeFi, which will lead to XRP price action later this year. And they're scooping up the dip right alongside with us. We might not be picking up billions like they are, but we're picking up what we can in the meantime, folks. Let's get right on into the update. We have 100 million XRP about to be locked up in FXRP. This is over for Flare. I've done a little bit just to test this out, and I'll be reporting on that here shortly. But FXRP, which is where you lock XRP in a vault on the XRP ledger, and then you get a representation of that XRP over on the Flare network, where you then can deploy it into liquidity pools, lending, or different, programs over there on Flare to earn yield rewards or returns on your XRP. So we've watched this go from zero and it's quickly approaching 100 million. That's, a tenth of the total XRP supply that's about to be locked up in this one protocol. With the majority already locked in DeFi, this is what happens when XRP gets real on-chain utility, collateral liquidity, and yield primitives that scale from retail usage today to institutional workflows over time. And that's what's the big unlock. This is not just DeFi for retail Joe Blows like myself. This is institutional capability as well. And we're going to break that down. A massive upgrade to the XRP ledger is happening now. So we're talking about the new features here on the XRP ledger. Token, and this is a breakdown by XRPL Commons. I encourage you guys to go check them out. They are building the commons with the XRP ledger community and basically just hosting developers, building. They actually tested a lot of these features before they went live on the XRP ledger. Great work by them. Lock, control, release, trade, new primitives on the XRP ledger. So what we have here is token escrow just went live on February 12th. Permission DEX is scheduled to go live on February 18th. And we just got permission domains that went live, a week or so ago? Permission DEX is the second part of permission domains, and let's break this down for you. We have two protocol upgrades that unlock programmable settlement and flexible market structures, both native to the XRP ledger. XRPL Commons tested both amendments end-to-end on DevNet, and you can check out their full analysis if you want to get into that tech. Token escrow XLS 85 is now live. Now, this is a native escrow that now works for all tokens, IOUs, and multi-purpose tokens, not just XRP. So up until now, you could only escrow XRP, just like the Ripple escrow that releases 1 billion to Ripple every single month. You could do that as well if you wanted to lock some up in an escrow, and you could release it, in 18 years when you're little bit, when you're, I'm about to have baby number 3. So if I wanted to escrow, I'll put aside a little bag of XRP for them and they can get it 18 years from now, I could set that up on the XRP ledger. But we were missing that for all of the tokens on the XRP ledger. This feature was only available for XRP. That's no longer the case. Now, all tokens on the XRP ledger, whether it's the IOUs or the new multi-purpose tokens, that's a new amendment that just passed here recently as well, adds additional programmability to what you can do with these tokens. And now you can escrow them as well. This is massive. Lock any token with conditions, time-based releases, milestone triggers, multi-party approval requirements. Massive. Permission DEX is XLS 81. That is set to go live here February 18th. Create controlled trading environments within the XRP ledger's native DEX. 3 offer types. So you got open, standard XRP ledger DEX payments, permissioned, credential-gated access, and hybrid, private pool first, public DEX fallback. What this enables: think any scenario where you need to lock assets with conditions, control who can trade them, then eventually open to broader markets. So for DeFi protocols with automated collateral management and private lending pools that tap open market liquidity when needed. So you love this, right? The institutions that need to keep it in permissioned environments, but then at certain points, the ability to go to the public DEX, that's what this enables. You gotta love it. B2B payments, where invoices are paid conditionally and verified counterparties trade in isolated pools. Treasury operations, with approval workflows for large transfers and jurisdiction-specific trading zones. Gaming economies, where in-game assets unlock based on achievements and guilds trade privately before cross-game markets. Creator platforms, with royalty splits locked in escrow and credential-gated collector markets before open trading. Token launches, with vesting schedules and phased distribution, whitelist trading before public markets. For new tokens that are going to come to the XRP ledger, right, they can now include and build in that vesting schedule or the token unlock schedule using this escrow feature. This is so big. So instead of having to just a trust me bro relationship with the token issuer that they say, yeah, we've created 100 billion tokens and just trust us. We're not going to dump on you. It's going to be all good, man. Just trust us, bro. Now they can actually lock it up, just like Ripple's done, right? They lock up 50 billion tokens in escrow, and I'm just using these numbers as an example, right? The token could only have 1 million tokens total, right? And the team could say, we're locking up 500,000 tokens into an escrow, and then we're going to keep, half the supply out. Just using random numbers to get across the point here. But it's such an important feature to build trust and allow the community to verify that with the platform or the token issuer in this case, right? Not only are they saying, trust me, bro, we're going to lock up some of the supply, we can actually go verify it on chain, and we can watch that, the token releases and that unlock schedule. We can verify that over time, just like we do with the Ripple escrow, but now it can be done for any token. See, this gives the toolkit that we're now giving to the developers and builders and corporations that are going to come to the XRP ledger, the institutions that are going to come to the XRP ledger, the toolkit that we are now putting in their hand is so much bigger than the toolkit, which was simply just fast, efficient, cheap payments on the XRP ledger. Right? Just a couple years ago, we didn't even have the AMM liquidity pools on our DEX. Right? We didn't have any of this stuff. We didn't even have NFTs, right? And now we have a full toolkit that we are enabling our builders, developers, and this is small retail builders, all the way up to the biggest institutions, which will tokenize real-world assets to the tune of hundreds of billions and trillions on the XRP ledger. And this is all going live now. This is not out into the future. And it will lead to XRP price moving. That's going to happen. So the pattern is lock, control access, automate release, bridge to open markets, all protocol native, no custom contracts. So all of this is being done without smart contracts, which is where all of the hacks, all of the breaches and the hacks and the wallet draining, all of that's happening on these other chains. And the usual vector point, where they're able to get access is these smart contracts. We're doing all of this programmability without smart contracts. So critical, so much safer. Now, how do they work together? Token escrow gives you programmable locks. Permission DEX gives you controlled markets. Combine them to build phased distribution systems. An example would be a payments provider locks stablecoin liquidity in escrow for instant settlement guarantees. They issue credentials to verified business customers, creates a permission trading pool for regional partners with compliance requirements. Liquidity unlocks automatically based on transaction volume thresholds. Switches to hybrid offers to partners, so partners can access regional liquidity privately or tap open DEX for cross-border FX conversion. One ledger, automated execution, no off-chain coordination. This is how you bring the institutional flows on-chain in a compliant way. When it's time to use the open DEX, you go ahead. When it's time to keep things in a credential-gated pool of liquidity, you keep it over there. And that hybrid allows these institutions to move in comfortably and compliantly. Now, technical notes, the token escrow works with any IOU or multi-purpose token. time locks, conditional releases, multi-sig triggers, 0.2 XRP reserve per escrowed asset. So you do have to lock up a portion of XRP to create that escrow, and there's no clawbacks during the lock period. Permission DEX builds on XLS 70, which is credentials, and XLS 80, which is domains. Credentials prove attributes without exposing personal data. Domain operators set access rules, and OpenDex continues operating unchanged. For builders, these are protocol level primitives. Build token launch platforms, gaming marketplaces, creator economies, DeFi protocols, payment corridors, all with built-in vesting, access control, and automated settlement. This infrastructure is live. Start building. Let's go. I mean, guys, this is what I was talking about as we went into 2026. Leave the hopium baseless narratives behind. XRP to 1,000 based off of a riddle. I love riddles too. I love talking about high prices too. But I wanted to bring our attention to this real, tangible programmability that's coming to the XRP ledger, and let's track the volumes, the liquidity coming on chain. The total value lock on the XRP ledger is about to grow substantially, and with it, the price. And I want to remind everybody too, we're talking about a few features here. Another big one that's coming is lending, the lending protocol. You want to talk about building out DeFi protocols on the XRP ledger? We haven't even had lending available. That's going to be changed here shortly as well too, with that set to go live in the first half of this year. And I want to show you how XRP is used as a bridge asset. This is a great visual by Vet, one of our XRP ledger validators. So this shows you how XRP is chosen because it's the best source of liquidity between bridging two different currencies. 477 auto bridging events occurred. The Euro RLUSD pair, 124 events, was the most active. The RLUSD Brazilian Real stablecoin had 67 events, and the USDC to RLUSD had 46 events. Now, please note, we're talking about a handful of currencies or stablecoins on the XRP ledger so far. Here soon, we're going to have hundreds, thousands of stablecoins and RWA tokens, tokenized bonds, equities, you name it, right? But in this example, we're talking about native currencies, Brazilian Real, the Euro, the US dollar in USDC form, the US dollar in RLUSD form. What's the best bridge between US dollar derivative through Circle USDC and RLUSD through Ripple? It's XRP. See, all these people that thought that RLUSD replaced XRP, you were so wrong. And we've tried to explain this, and here's a great visual representation of that just to prove it even further. Interestingly, RLUSD appears in majority if auto bridging event. Okay, it looks like RLUSD appears in majority of auto bridging event, clearly the most actively traded currency against other currencies where XRP gets used as the bridge. Total of 15,000 XRP was used to provide liquidity for better exchange rates. 92% of all trades are token XRP pairs. 8% of all trades are token-to-token pairs. So majority, 92% of all trades on the XRP ledger are with XRP pairs. Out of all the token-to-token trades, 0.8% were auto-bridged. For the BBRL events, those amounts were small trades, but still enough to trigger auto-bridging. The XRPL DEX is so efficient that you can trade tiny amounts without friction. XRP loves tokenization, long tail of assets. And so I know that this is small, but what we're looking at right here is XRP in the middle, and he's showing all of the tokens on one side and all of these tokens on the other side. And so you're going from USDC to XRP to RLUSD. You're going from Brazilian Real to XRP to RLUSD, right? You're going from the Euro to XRP to RLUSD, or a variation of those pairings, right? With XRP being chosen as the auto bridging method. Now, it's not used in every example. It's only used when it makes sense, which is something that David Schwartz highlighted years ago. He says you don't get these institutions on chain by forcing them to use your token and forcing them to hold your token. This example actually highlights how these institutions can come on the XRP ledger and get the benefits of the XRP ledger without having to hold XRP, which is a benefit of onboarding and bringing mass adoption. Right? You don't want to have to shove it down people's throats. Of course, many of them are going to choose to hold XRP, right? And whether that's for speculation or whether that's just for building and having access to the XRP ledger. Once again, to do any of these features, you're locking up XRP to create a wallet, locking up XRP to add a trust line to create a new token. You're locking up XRP to create an escrow. And then on most transactions, you're going to be bridging using XRP as well too. It all comes back to XRP. And I think that this is what the whales are seeing. This is the same thing that we've been breaking down too, which is this explosion in XRP DeFi and activity, which will lead to XRP price increase. XRP has dropped 50% since Q4 of 2025. And if you look, the full drawdown from July 2025 high of $3.60 down to $1.11, that was a full 70% drop for XRP. Incredible. But whales have amassed 3 billion tokens within this period. This chart is from Sentiment, and it shows October 1st, 2025, these whales that hold 10 million to 100 million XRP, they had 7.89 billion XRP, and they're now sitting at 10.9. At one point, they were upwards over 11 billion. But you're looking at wallets that hold between 10 million and 100 million XRP. Are they losing conviction? Are they losing faith? Not even close. And in fact, right, you look at this chart, it's down here. Look at this number. 7.8 billion all the way up to 11 billion at the start of this year. And all I'm saying is that we shouldn't let the whales take all of the XRP. Maybe we should consider taking some for ourselves. And if you're looking for a platform to do so in your retirement funds, right? You got a 401k or other retirement fund and you're looking to get exposure to digital assets, our sponsor, iTrust Capital, can help you out, folks. We got them linked up down below. Use my link to get a $100 funding bonus. And they have the IRA product and the premium custody account as well. Free institutional grade custody, 24/7, 365 service with no monthly fees. Get it done. You can roll over your 401k, your 403b, your TSP, 457, or other retirement fund and get exposure to digital assets or precious metals today. Okay? So check them out. $100 funding bonus when you use my link. And on the way out, if you appreciate our content, please help us out by liking this video, sharing it out far and wide, and we will see you guys in the next one. God bless you all. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.